Hello, everyone. My name is Lucifer, and welcome to Fatal Focus. This is a visual novel on photography. From what I saw, from the kinds of thing that I saw the see, I don't know this is a horror game per se. It might be spooky, but it's more about a photography kind of like captures everything you see kind of game. If that makes sense, if that's creepy, if that's delectable, then watch this video till the end because I know you can. Boo 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 boo. Alright. When you're an artist, you must push yourself to create. You have to contort your body, let your guts burst from your stomach as your back bends backwards for angles, for brush strokes. As you bend backwards, not your back, why would your back bend backwards? It would be broken that way. You have to break the glass in your mind to allow the forbidden to possess your hand. You have to break what's already been created to make something even more meaningful. You have to destroy something for your art. You don't know if it'll be your canvas or yourself. I might not be breaking my body today, but I am breaking my routine. I pick up my phone and decide that opening social media is the best way to start my day off. I've been living in this town for a few months at most, trying to get some inspiration. The quiet beauty of a small historic town nestled in Pennsylvania welcomed me. Its people welcomed me as well, but was only in the politeness of strangers. A coffee shop encounter never went past pleasantries. In a new town, I was alone. I had joined a few online groups for different hobbies in the area, bird watching, maple syrup cultivation, but I've been mostly interested in photography groups. Let's see, do they have any events coming up? What about photographing the soul, my deep dark void of a soul? Galleries, events, coffee talks, camera exchanges. None of that was soon. I refreshed the page again. A new post pops up in my feed. It is for a photography walk in the borough. Come walk through historic streets, visiting peak photography opportunities throughout town. Bring your own camera and water. Starts at 12 p.m. at the coffee shop on Miller Street. Hosted by Adonis Damour. Interesting name. I tap on the link leading to the host's website. Oh, interesting shot you have there. Fascinating stuff. They seem to do a lot of portrait and fashion photography. It was like looking into the world of a high fantasy novel. Even flow of fabrics and hair, decoration with flora and foliage. I press on the About tab. Adonis was young and in their mid-20s. Seems to have always lived in the seclusion of the state's forests. Would be nice to know what they look like though. I breathe a sigh of relief. I had been fearing not finding a photographer in a similar age and interest range as me. The photography walk started in 2 hours. You wake up at 10 a.m. That is so late. Anything beyond 7 or 6 a.m. over here is like considered late. So gosh. The photography walk started in 2 hours. It wouldn't be a bad idea to go out, meet some new people, and take some photos. I press the RSVP button on the event and it asks for my name and email. My name is Lucifer. I type out Lucifer for the name box and my email for the other. I don't get to type my email. That is so sad. That is so very sad. Oh no. I place my phone back on my nightstand and sit up to stretch. I have a few hours before the walk. I place a needle on my record player and begin my morning routine. I open one of the windows and allow the crispy must of fall to fill the room. There's a chill in the air, but it is one that may be cured by bundles of sweaters. No candle can capture the pure essence of a Pennsylvania autumn. I eat, get dressed, brush my teeth, I bundle up as necessary. It takes me longer than needed to decide what camera and camera case to bring. I make sure to pack an extra lens. You need an extra lens to lob at someone, in case no one's listening, you just chuck it at them, chuck it at their head. Let's hope I can get some good pictures today. Ooh, the borough is as beautiful as it has ever been. The local troops have already come through and painted the local business windows with horror movie icons and autumn imagery. Every business has its doors open to allow the smell of fall in. I mean, what smell does fall have if you truly smell fall? I guess it would be the smell of like, leaves falling, the crunch of the grass. Yes, the crunch of grass has a smell too, obviously. And though creatures and darkness hiding all around behind the trees and in the darkness. Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. The local flower store is selling their famous chocolate chip cookies once more. Miller Street is beautiful, albeit short. I reached the coffee shop in no time. Maybe you should get a coffee before tea. Tea is better. Get a tea. Some coffee. Why not? Can I save? I can. Coffee is the song sung by the siren that is autumn midday. I step into the coffee shop. That is a very fancy coffee shop. Look at those sofas. If they got coffee, I mean, maybe you can have like a coffee stained sofa, kind of like a coffee stained vibe of a sofa. That would be very cool. Also, those look like summoning ritual circles. All paid. People have summoned so many things in this place. Scattered among the seats are various patrons. 4 people sitting by a window, knitting a scarf in unison, laughing over cappuccinos. A couple sits near the back door, though they're more interested in their cups than themselves. You know, sometimes when the cups get in between your lives, it's really difficult to let go. There are a few sitting alone with their laptops out. I doubt they're getting any work done. The man working the counter has always been kind to me. He's offered me directions and given me hints to secret spots around town, whether for food or for photos. This man knows too many things about me. He must be silenced and his whole family must be eviscerated from reality. It's hospitality I've never been used to. Okay. A soy white chocolate mocha. Iced cappuccino. To me, this one tastes the tastiest. Seems the tastiest. I'm not a coffee drinker, but this tastes pretty good. I mean, it's chocolate mocha. It's basically just white hot chocolate if you really think about it. My favorite order with an extra shot, no whip. I ordered a soy white chocolate mocha. My eyes glance over the food options, pastries, sandwiches, and a bowl of fruit. The fruit looks rotten. I swear I spot a fly crawling into a hole in a piece of a cantaloupe. Excuse me. Huh, what's up? There's a flies in one of these cups. I'm sorry to point it out. Sorry. It is best not to mention the rot. The barista leans over the counter to grab the plastic bowl and examines it. These are perfectly fine otherwise. Maybe we should close the door. Fine. Are their eyes wrong? Ooh. Okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you for catching this, though. Don't worry about paying for your drink. This is my fault. Okay, but it's not your fault. There's nothing that I can do. My order is taken, and I'm swept away to stand by the counter near the entrance, waiting for my drink to be made. The breeze outside offers a warm backdrop to the idle chit-chat of other patrons. I do my bit of people watching and only now notice the other person standing waiting for a drink. Hello, you do look very festive and wonderful. They're leaned against the wall, fiddling with a laced cuff on their sleeve. It looks like they have a camera bag on their person as well. Could they be going on the photography walk as well? I slowly approach them and give them a wave. Hello. They slowly look up from their hands and scan my entire body. Lucifer? How did you know my name? Sorry. You have a camera bag on you, and I assume that you were the single person who signed up for the walk today. Hey, you know me, single and ready to die. I'm Adonis. It's good to meet you. The breath I was holding exhaled, and the sweat forming on my brow disappeared. It's nice to meet you. You've made me all nervous. Sorry about that. No, it's nothing to apologize for. Adonis is not what I was expecting. Adorning their faces is red makeup. I mean, they're wearing a lot of red makeup. They're wearing makeup everywhere. Their shirt has makeup on. They have a shirt up. Their face is red makeup hidden behind red sunglasses. It is sunny today, but not sunny enough to warrant them. Perhaps they are sensitive to lights, or they just want to look fabulous. Something about their clothes make them seem older than they look. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Are you new to town? Yeah, I moved here a few months ago. It's very beautiful and cozy here, isn't it? I've got a slightly bitter hazelnut macchiato with a cream for Adonis. Slightly bitter hazelnut macchiato. I don't know exactly what a macchiato is, but you gotta get it slightly bitter, just gotta get it a little slightly bitter sometimes. Thank you. Adonis grabs their drink and immediately brings it up to their lips. You're not even gonna give it a second to cool? No one drinks their drink cool. We have to drink our drinks hot. If our tongues and throat burns, then we continue to drink it. It is the rule of all hot drinks. You don't just drink a warm drink, you drink it hot. I killed the heat sensors on my taste bud years ago, same, I can drink really hot drinks. I couldn't help but laugh. How often do you do these walks? Do you usually only get one person? I tried to Why is it suddenly very cold in my room? I haven't even taken a photo yet and it's cold. Okay. I try to host them monthly. I usually get a few people to attend, a lot of older folks. Kind-hearted people. They take some of the prettiest pictures I've ever seen. But I'm wondering if I schedule this walk over a mahjong tournament since you're the only one who has shown up. Which is perfect. I can show you my new neighbor some of my favorite spots. Oh, I can show my new neighbor. I don't want to show you my new neighbor. That'd be a bit creepy, but also they're living in a basement tied up and chained up to the wall. Do you go down to the river very often by the park? There's some very pretty sights to be had there. There's a waterfall that's hidden in the trees. It's gorgeous. I have a soy white chocolate mocha for Lucifer. That's me, thank you. I grab my cup of coffee off the counter and double-check the name written on the cup. I can't read the handwriting. Do you want to finish outside? The air is crisp. Ooh. I nod and go outside with Adonis. We sit in silence for a few minutes, finishing up our drinks, checking our phones and our equipment. Adonis finishes their drink first, pouring out the little liquid left before recycling. I follow suit shortly. So, Lucifer, have you ever been on a photography walk before? Have I? Not really. No, I don't get outside much. When I take photographs, it's usually of the demons haunting me all the time. They never leave. A photography walk is basically a walking tour. The only difference is that the camera in your hand is more than just your phone. You share ideas and compositions. The tour walks around and finds sweet spots for photos. At the end, you can check out everyone's pictures and see how different photographers manage to capture the same place. That is very true. In a similar way, YouTube videos, especially when you're playing a lot of games, you get a lot of people playing the same game, and you edit the style differently. You show yourself differently on in these videos. Everyone is different in their own way, and I've always found that fascinating. Usually, I do watch people who are more or less similar, sometimes of the opposite spectrum. But it's very interesting how just a small change in an editing style or like a text or like that can change the entire energy and the vibe of a video. It's really, really cool. And just a random thought of mine, and a really weird thought, and I'm weird as it is, but it's something really cool to think about how people just can do something a little differently, and it can have a huge impact on the final product, and everyone has a different eye. And that way it's interesting to see different people's perspectives and stuff like that, because it gives you a different perspective and it gives you a thought-provoking moment. It's not only in stuff that they have to think about. For example, like this, in photography or even art, seeing someone do the same thing in a slightly different way or in a completely different way can give you more thought and provoke more things inside of you that can inspire you to do things and try things, which I think is fascinating. Or I'm probably putting over fascination in this for no reason, but hey, those are just my dumb thoughts. I'm gonna go continue the game now. Sometimes I like to throw a theme in. What's the theme? How does life cycle sound? Very broad, but also very specific. That's good enough for me. One thing I've noticed, the text box for Adonis is red, and for me it's white. If you have any questions or concerns or anything else, just let me know. Adonis starts walking down the street, taking their camera out of their bag as they do. I follow along. Our first stop is a small garden across from a Quaker cemetery. Quaker Oats! Death by Quaker Oats! That looked like an eye for a second. Enclosed in a fading white fence, Adonis lets me take pictures first. I pull out my Canon and try to zoom in close to some limp leaves delicately falling off a flower's stem. Oh, I have quite the eye. I know the couple that lives here. Older folk, very sweet. The husband runs the hardware store in town. Sometimes you just see a cute cat running through, but it doesn't look like she's out today. Ooh, it's like a UV photography. If you guys haven't seen it, I recommend looking up UV versions of like flowers and stuff, because bees see more light than us, and they see, I think, the UV spectrum. I think it's either UV or something like that. But the flowers that they see are absolutely gorgeous. They're very pretty, and they're so different from what we see because we view a different spectrum of light. It's just fascinating how things can be so different for different creatures. This music is really good for thought provocation. I don't know why. Okay, it's really cool music and it's a really cool thoughts process right now. Really? A cat? Yes, I don't know what kind she is, but she's white. She's a white one with blue eyes and one brown eye. I think her name is Lavinia. I just call her Jiggles, though, because she has a cute bell on her collar that signals her arrival strides before she crosses your path. That sounds really cute. I hope we see her today. Perhaps. With a flash off, I snap a few more images. The couple's been keeping up this garden for a few years. It was overgrown long before. Oh. There's a rumor here that while they were starting to clear out the weeds, they found a body buried under the soil. What, really? Really? Did they ever find out whose body it was? No. There's quite a rumor that what they found was a skeleton that was mixed with deer antlers and bear bones. It is I, Lucifer. I am very horny and berry. That's why they call me horny and unbearable. I turned back towards Adonis, who has our camera pointed towards me. They click a photo. Excuse you. I'm not pretty enough for a photo. Do you think there's anything to it? The bones. It could be just coincidence. Maybe a deer, a person, and a bear died all in a tango, in a wilderness tango. Just died on the spot, you know? I'll go with the, it could be real, it could be fake, it could be anything. You know, it's real until proven otherwise, you know? I believe in things I don't know. I sure do. Maybe there are actual deer men who walk among men. Adonis laughs. I agree with your first statement, but I don't think I believe the second. Hey, you clearly haven't played Tiny Bunny. There are very, very, very creepy creatures. How would a man with antlers wear a hat, huh? Would they have cut holes in the fat? Yes, they would. They definitely would. There's something we've talked about in D&D. We had a situation where one of the characters cuts their own holes in pants for like their tail because they're a tiefling. Basically, imagine a devil human, basically, with like a tail, and they had a very thick tail, and then and they also have horns. So like, if they had to like wear a hood or like a hat or something, they had to like cut horns. Also, I had like a thought where like, like a lot of creatures would have to have specific helmets made for them, because a lot of creatures would have horns in D&D and stuff like that. So if they like went to war and they were in an army, they would have to have helmets with like holes cut out for like horns and stuff, which is very, very funny, but also very cool. Would it not be uncomfortable with the natural curves and the antler making it difficult to put on and take off? That's why you cut holes like horizontally as well, or like not a hole, but like a kind of like thing through the hat where you can just slide it on from the front to back. I feel like it would be an inconvenience is all. The adjustable straps on baseball caps. They could use those. They sure could. Why couldn't they? They could use anything they wanted to. I think, maybe. Did my pen touch my white shirt? I don't know. I don't see a mark. It's fine. perhaps. It sure would make it difficult to walk through doors. I just had to do the, you have to do the limbo while going through the doors, just, how low can you go? How low can you go? And going through them sideways probably feels awful. I just know it. That's something I should probably use for D&D, if like the horns are too big, they can't go through doors. That's that. I'm gonna write that down. I will. I should. Adonis lowers their camera and places it back in their bag. We should continue. You now know this garden exists. I sure do. Am I gonna be the bones next time? We pass another cemetery with a decaying metal fence. That's a cat! Walking along the perimeter is a black... Oh, it's a dog! I mean, dogs and cats, basically the same creature. With its nose buried in fallen leaves. I missed something. Oh, hi! I lean down to snap a few pictures of the dog, which doesn't seem to flinch at my camera shutter. A lot of people like taking this dog's photos. Oh, hello there. Adonis crouches and reaches out to the animal, but they do not pet it. What are you doing out here? It's light outside. Their hand runs over the pavement before it descends into the dirt. Squirming among fresh dirt and the soil are worms which follow the creases in Adonis's hands. They hold their palm facing the sky and bring it towards the dog. Now, there's no one who will be stealing from the graves at this time of the day. Do you just want a snack? The dog with its eyes clouded over like watered-down milk looks at Adonis as if it's thinking of a rebuttal. Rebuttal is a word! It is a word! Oh my gosh! I have been trying to use the word rebuttal for like a year now, and every time I use it in Discord, or even in just like any other messaging app, it always highlights the word as non-existent. It has a red underline. And when I right-click, there is no other word like it. So it is a word. Okay, I validation for me. Nice. I knew it was a real word. I knew I was being gaslit by all the messenger apps. Discord lied to me. Discord has been lying to me for so long. Instead, it closes its eyes and begins to lick up the feet of a vermin. This is a bit... I do know that dogs do eat insects and they eat worms and it's like they're fine with it, but like it's still a bit strange that's your first reaction to give the dog, and its eyes are milky, which is also not very suspicious at all. I guess we'll see. I cannot help but observe I feel slime at the tip of my tongue, slowly finding its way down to my throat. It's the worm! I wipe the taste from my own mouth. Did you appear just for a treat? Dog only makes chewing, slurping noises. Natural noodles, I guess. Well, you're allowed for revealing yourself to our new neighbor. The dog finishes its meal. Adonis allows themselves a few scratches behind the ear. Before I can say anything else, it runs off and disappears behind the tombstones. I look in disbelief. Quickly, I go to check the photos I had just taken. Each one showed only a metal fence and dead leaves scattered across the grass. There was no dog. Everything all right, Lucifer? So there is a little bit of spoop. It's not here. You expect to capture footage of the blackguards of the... Oh wait, what? I can't read for a second. You expect to capture footage of the blackguards of the graveyards? They seem serious. I suppose not. Yeah, okay. I feel as if I'm being pulled along the street as Adonis wipes their hand of dirt and continues walking. I follow along. There is definitely no one that lives in here. Definitely no one with piercing white eyes going to show up over there. Adonis takes me to an abandoned white building near the forest. Vines and leaves crawl up the walls, framing haphazardly painted graffiti and a late-stage decay. What was this building meant for? It used to be a beer store. The building has been abandoned for a few years. Yeah, people drink Red Bull now, not beer. Pfft. Now you're gonna tell me that it's closed down because someone died in there, or that there's some spectral figure roaming around the building. And it keeps barking at passerbys that it craves some beer that no longer exists. You know what? Honestly, that doesn't sound too far after everything right now. That doesn't sound far-fetched at all. It would not sound crazy or stupid or creepy or anything at all.
That sounds perfectly safe and that sounds perfectly normal, and I would believe that if someone said that to me after everything so far. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Everything about that. Yeah.
Adonis laughs. Nothing like that. They end up moving locations to a smaller store in a nearby strip mall. There aren't a lot of beer drinkers in this area who enjoy the. There aren't a lot of beer drinkers in the area who enjoy the drink past a bottle of two for sports events. Interesting. Where they drink a ghosty roasty bottle of water. That was not funny at all. I'm not being creative or funny. That is so sad. So sad. Anyways. It got overtaken by a general wine and spirit store instead. I may love ghosts and local legends, but this is not one of those tours. Does an organization give ghost tours in town? The Cultural Society hosts a few during Halloween. Some of their homes do historic house tours around the Christmas time. It's quite nice. You should come to one soon. My home is usually on display then. You're not alive, are you? I think Adonis is not alive. Is not a live person. What is it backwards? Synoda? It's okay. I thought it might be an acronym for like a death god or something like that, but maybe not. It was built in the early 19th century by a carriage maker. How strange. Why bring me here? Because the life cycle of things applies to not just living things. Thoughts die, business dies, structures die, hopes die. But those ashes bring new life and the cycle continues. That is true. You know, that is why, probably a weird time to say this, but you do matter. You do make a difference in this world. Because whatever you do will affect someone else. And even if you pass, you will pass along those inspirations, those things, those experiences, those words, I can't do that right now, but just those sparks that you've created with other people will continue. So yeah, everything does matter. I snap a few photographs of different angles. Some showing the sky and the buildings, some focusing on the foliage. Adonis has their camera out, but their lens falls onto me. That's very suspicious. Maybe I'm gonna become the camera host after this tour. Sorry, the tour guide. Maybe I'm gonna be part of the photograph, or maybe I'm not gonna be the real life thing at the very end. It's gonna be a reveal. Who knows at this point? I assume the pictures they are taking are for promotional material for future walks and think nothing of it. Oh yeah, or maybe I'm a dead person in in a graveyard and I came back to life and I've only just been thinking that I've been alive for a long time. Ha 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 ha. We finish our photography in silence. Adonis takes off. I look back at the abandoned building and I swear I see a figure standing in a broken window, unmoving. I follow along. Okay. And the room just got colder again. Huh? Adonis and I arrive at the forest-turned park at the edge of town. The autumn air tastes better than the burrows. I stick my tongue out to get a better scope of its taste. Alright. Autumn tastes like spiced whiskey and cinnamon, like ginger and bread and vanilla as essential oil. Under my tongue is a remnant of nutmeg. That actually is nostalgia at play. A lot of companies, what they do is that for certain seasons they use certain spices to make you get the nostalgia, because you'll associate those seasons and those holidays with those drinks or food or whatever. And then you'll be more inclined to buy it because of that nostalgia and think that it's good because of that nostalgia. So yeah, that's kind of like inbred into you at a very young age. Fun little thing for you. You don't get this anywhere else. Appalachia is a stone's throw away from here. We have our own old magic. We walk along the river for a few minutes, stopping every so often to take pictures. So Adonis. Yes, Lucifer? I am going to take a save over there. What do you like Photographying? I saw your portfolio, but that doesn't tell me a lot about someone's photographic interests. I used to be really into fantasy, folklore, and life. I did a series like that for a while. I've done wedding photography, but in an artistic sense. I don't like the still wedding photos people take now. Your bond is an art, capture it as such. But right now I'm very interested in the senses. Video allows us to see and hear an image. I want to be able to taste it, to smell it, to put my hands through the gloss and feel the textures. That's why I wanted to focus on life cycles today, because sometimes seeing what you may become will trigger sensations in those senses. Not sure if that makes sense. It does. It does, yeah, it does. Thank goodness. We continue our walk along the riverside. Before long, Adonis stops. They put a finger to their lips and point towards the grass. Through the blade, I spy a dark lump. It matches the soft sound of buzzing of flies and squirming of worms. Is that a dead rabbit? Oh. In the grass I spot a deer lying on its side, its eyes shallow and black, its antlers up to the sky, its mouth agape.
Why are we silent for this? It's not like it's gonna hear us.
The carcass has become home to maggots, squirming in its insides, releasing its intestines, gnawing off legs. No longer found in physical form. All that is left are strings of meat, white, juicy, pulsing. My eyes widen, my mouth waters. My mouth has been watering every time there has been some sort of like worm or like deer around carcass. Again, mighty suspicious, I say. I raise my camera up, my lens towards the corpse, and take pictures. The vermin rides on her sinews and eat the tendons. They make new holes for temporary homes. These animals must constantly move. They must constantly slither. They eat their homes until all that is left is bones and blood. And they must move on. The maggots and the worms are the nomads of the animal kingdom. They will exhaust their resources and force themselves to flee. And by God, is it spectacular. Once I have finished something in pictures, Adonis continues walking and I follow along. We stop a few more times. We must have, at least the sun is beginning to set, and yet it feels like we've only been out for a few hours at most. Adonis laughs with the prettiest voice in the world. We scroll through our photographs and speak of the lighting, the composition, and the colors. I do not remember a word. What is most fascinating is that for most of it, we are alone. Nothing living interrupts us. We find dead birds and dead trees, rocks and rivers and paved trails and left behind trash. So when we are suddenly within the sight of a girl, maybe in her 20s, sitting along the water with a book in hand, I'm taken aback. When we approach, she does not look back to us to see the source of the incoming noise. We are level 100 rogues! Hello? She does not respond.
The groom just got more colder.
She continues to look out at the setting sun across rippling water, tugging at the ruin of her slip dress and smooth surface of her skin. I said I wanted to be alone out here. Did you not listen? The girl makes a movement now, her knuckles turn white from the gripping fabric. You know what this means, don't you? She seems to nod. Adonis turns to me. They pull their camera out from their bag. Lucifer, put your camera away. I do as I'm told, and take this. They rummage through one of the pockets, handing me a knife. It feels old, judging by the scratches on the blades and the strings wrapped around the metal hilt. Stand. The woman stands up and faces us. Her visage is plasticky, eyes milky, swirling, empty, just like the dog. So she also does not exist, doesn't she? Adonis quickly stabs the woman in the neck. A screech from her throat is cut short by her coughing. She throws up blood like a dog who has thrown up a bad treat. They push the knife in deeper, twisting it so the flesh twists around it as well. I find myself unable to look away, like my eyes will be torn from the sockets if I even think of shying my eyes away from the metal. But I'm unable to breathe again when Adonis pulls it out from her neck and licks the blood off the blade.
Oh, that's very unhygienic, you know. There's a lot of devious germs and devils in there.
She groans for a second, but then her noise is quickly muffled. The pain is still in her voice box. They hand it to me. I take it as they step towards the trail. Lucifer. Adonis readies their camera, bringing it to cover most of their face.
Oh no.
In her death, her body is still fresh. I want you to cut her. Where? My words move faster than my thoughts, but once they catch up, they are the same. My mouth becomes wet, my eyes feel warm. Ignited. Start with her cheek. I raise the knife to be inches away from the woman's skin. Her breathing is hot and heavy next to me. It is welcoming in this autumn chill. For a few moments I hesitate. I look over to the camera once more. Adonis says nothing, their finger hovering over the shutter release. I cut her cheek. Adonis snaps a photo. The viscosity is thick. Blood has always been thick. This was thick like maple syrup, like oil. I reach my hand to touch it. My fingers swirl around in the wound before I find them in my... It tastes like expensive raspberry sauce found on the side of the desert. Adonis takes another picture as I ready the knife again. I find a good, soft, thin piece of skin in her neck and stab the knife into there. The blood squirts. The woman, no, her body flinches as her organs in their cease functioning, gag on her own fluids. It drips onto her dress. I drag the knife down. Her skin, her bones, her organs are all tough but beautifully carved and constructed by nature. Herself to block my knife from cutting out a straight line. It takes effort. Sweat drips down my knuckles and collects in the grass. I pry the woman open with my fingers like her body lays a door. Her innards spill from her stomach and they desire to swirl like worms, scavenging the deer further down the path. I grab the gore inside her and pull out some before I shove it into my... It tastes sweet like strawberry cake drizzled in vanilla icing. I close my eyes and savor a long syrup like blood to drip down my lips. Quickly, she falls into the grass and I join her. I become a vulture among the sounds of spit and a camera shutter. I ravage her, my teeth gnawing at her jugular, turning stringy with each bite that I take. My tongue licks at the ribs in her torso. I don't know how long and how much I take of her for some punishment I am unaware of. But by the time I'm done, I don't recognize her. I do not feel sick. I do not feel pain. I do not feel remorse. I look back at Adonis and I lick the blood from my fingers. They capture another photograph of me. They lower their camera and smile. That was beautiful. Was it? Was it really? Was it really? I don't have anything to say. I move my lips to say something, but any thought is lost in the saliva. You should clean yourself up. I'll deal with this. Adonis looks down at the woman and pushes up their glasses. With a swift motion, they kick her once, allowing the body to fall into the river. We watch her as the water washes away the bile and blood covering her body. She floats down the river, nameless before being taken by a fast surge of white rapids. I wash my face and my arms in the water. I take off what has been ruined of my clothing and throw it together, what I can look to be presentable. I can walk you home. No one will say a word, all right? You'll be fine. I nod and we begin taking the path back into town. The evening breeze sends a chill down my spine. I rub my arms together to generate what warmth I can get together. Adonis says nothing as we walk home. I don't need them to. The town is quiet. Everything has shut its doors around 7 o'clock. There's not a soul on the sidewalks nor any vehicle on the roads. I feel satisfied with today's walk. I wonder why. It's almost like you had a nice full meal. And something in me wants to do it again. Okay, I want to load different options. Okay, take a photo of that. Just fall off. You hear that? You're Lucifer, right? Yeah, okay. Am I correct? You're Adonis. Okay. Alright, it's very interesting. I wasn't expecting that out of everything. So I'm a newcomer now. I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna be a part of this before. Have I been yeah, sure, why not? You know what they entail? Okay. Great. It was fake. It could not. The skeleton was because someone ate the person, wasn't it? I've been a professional photographer for about 7 years. When I was younger, my grandfather showed me some of the daguerre types, the photographs printed on metal plates. I realized in my older years that the reason he was likely the crazy old man was because of the mercury vapors in the process. He told me the story of how, when he was in his younger years, he had a friend who enjoyed the hobby as well. His friend lost his sister to illness when he was in his 20s. He wanted to preserve as much as he could with the limited time on Earth. My grandfather says that he took it too far, and one day they found the man in his home where the woods was decaying and the windowsills were catching flies, taking photographs of his dead parents at the dinner table. But ever since then, I heard that I've been fascinated with the photography. Huh. Okay. So it's the same ending. Interesting. Wait. So it's the same ending. Huh. Okay. Well, that is actually interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Your eyes are creepy, ma'am, but I see. I have no words for that. I like the art style. I like the music. I liked the game. I also found the game very creepy and yeah, that's literally it. I have no words for this. I'll leave it up to you. Tell me what you think about the game, and yeah, leave a comment down below. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna end the video here now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah,